Do you love growing tomatoes, but the plants are small and have very few tomatoes, or the plants are big and leafy and have no tomatoes? So getting the plants the right nutrients is the key to getting a big harvest of tomatoes and creating amazing flavor. So today I'd like to share with you the 3 steps that we need to do that will help your plants to create big flavorful tomatoes. So first we need to make sure that the plant has all the nutrients that it needs to create the flavor profiles. And second, we need to make the perfect organic tomato fertilizer. And last, we need to learn how to make the tomato magic mix and then learn how and when to apply it so your tomatoes have the best flavor. Okay, first let's take a look at the nutrients that the plants need and why organic growing is so important. So in order for the plant to grow and create the amazing flavors the plant needs, it needs a minimum of 17 different nutrients. The nutrients are divided into macro and micronutrients, and the plant needs more macro than the micronutrients. And the macronutrients are carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. Now carbon is in the soil and hydrogen and oxygen come from the water. So what we need to have in the fertilizer that we apply is nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and sulfur. So calcium is a very important macronutrient that the plants need to have strong cell walls. So this will keep the tomato from getting blossom end rot. So if the tomato plant gets too much nitrogen, then you'll have a big leafy plant and no tomatoes. So balancing these nutrients is important. So next is the micronutrients. These are boron, chlorine, copper, iron, manganese, zinc, molybdenum, and nickel. And these are sometimes called trace minerals. And the micronutrients are important to the plant's growth, and it is where the plant can use these micronutrients to create the flavor profiles of the tomatoes. So I can make any variety of tomato taste over the top amazing by making sure that the plant has all the micronutrients that it needs. So if the plant is lacking in micronutrients, the flavor is going to be off. So most of the flavor is created in the plant just as the tomato is ripening on the vine. So next we need the soil microbes. So plants don't just take the nutrients from the soil. The nutrients passes through soil microbes that convert the nutrients into a form that the plant can uptake. So compost is one of the best sources of good soil microbes, and it is important that all the fertilizer that you put on the garden is organic to protect your soil microbes. It is these soil microbes that make all the nutrients available to the plants in a form that it can uptake. So chemical fertilizers can kill off your soil microbes, which feed the plants. So this can leave your plant without the ability to absorb the 17 necessary nutrients. All right, let's recap this. This is a lot of information. The plant needs 17 nutrients to grow and create flavor profiles. So we need to protect the soil microbes that make the nutrients available to the plant. So organic growing is the key to getting great flavors. We can add soil microbes to the soil that our tomato plants grow in by adding compost. Now that we know that we need the 17 nutrients in an organic form, here is our recipe that we use here on the farm to create our organic tomato fertilizer. So you're going to mix up this fertilizer and put it in a container, and then we're going to be using the fertilizer in our tomato magic mix that we will feed to the plants. So in step 3, I'll teach you how to use the fertilizer and compost together to make the tomato magic mix. And I will teach you how and when to apply the tomato magic mix to the soil to make flavor bursting tomatoes. But first, we need to make our organic tomato fertilizer. All right, so to do this, you're going to want to measure by volume, not weight. So whatever size container you use it for everything. So sometimes I just use like a coffee can. That works really good. All right, so nitrogen, you want 2 parts. So that would be like two cans of nitrogen. And you can use cottonseed meal, bat guano, fish meal, or soybean meal. The next is phosphorus. You're going to use 1 part, so 1 can, and that can be bone meal, soft rock phosphate, or crab shell meal. All right, the next one is potassium. You're going to make 1 part. That's going to be green sand, wood ash, or sulfate of potash. So sometimes it's called sulpo-mag. For the calcium, 1 part calcium carbonate, which is limestone, or dolomite, that's what we use, so that's dolomitic limestone. For the micronutrients and the rest of the macronutrients, these will be found in kelp meal. So you want a 1/2 part kelp meal. So once you have the fertilizer recipe mixed up, you can store this in an airtight container in a cool, dry place. All right, now that we have the powdered fertilizer, we can make the tomato magic mix that we will feed to the plants. And tomato magic mix, it's just the name that I gave to the fertilizer compost mix that we will apply to the soil. But before we get to the tomato magic mix and application, if you want to learn more about growing tomatoes, then jump into our high performance garden show. You can watch us grow a whole season of tomatoes week by week, and you can even learn our professional trellising system. The show, it's free, it's online. You can watch it anytime you want to. Go ahead and go to our website, thelivingfarm.org/high-performance-garden-show. You can enroll there, and I'll also put the link in the description below. Okay, let's make some tomato magic mix and learn how to apply it to the soil to feed the plants and the microbes. All right, so tomato magic mix consists of a blend of the organic fertilizer that you just made and compost. So if you don't have any compost, then buy some worm castings to mix it with. I prefer buying worm castings over buying compost. Some of the brands of compost are not made well and have ingredients that could harm your soil microbes. All right, the tomato magic mix is 4 parts compost or worm castings and 1 part organic tomato fertilizer. So mix this by volume, not weight, and try to mix only what you need. So I use 1 cup per plant, and I will put that on every 4 weeks while the plant is growing. I put that in around the roots and then water that in really good. Feeding the plants on a regular schedule helps the plant to not stress, so they're happy and continue to make tomatoes. So if you'd like to learn more of our tomato growing secrets, you can find them in our tomato success playlist right here.